Most of all, people say that dairy products, meats, and animal fats are predominantly consists the Mongolian cuisine. The most common rural dishes are cooked mutton and boats, which is steamed dumplings filled with meat. The extreme continental climate of Mongolia has influenced the traditional diet. The Mongolian diet it includes a large proportion of animal fat, which is necessary for the Mongols to withstand the cold winters and their hard work.
Wow, it's so interesting. So our country is usually sunny. Therefore, Mongolians ate dairy products that had absorbed all the potassium and vitamins from the sun. In winter, we used to eat meat and fat, and in summer, we used to eat dairy, wild fruits, and onions. Eating too much meat can cause colon cancer, so Mongolians used to rest stomachs in summer. Eating just vegetables regularly in summer can lead to protein deficiency. But Mongolian dairy products are safe and healthy because it's rich in protein and contains a certain amount of fat.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Also, milk and dairy is important in a healthy balanced diet, providing many nutrients essential for good health. Milk and dairy typically provide almost one-third of scientists' recommended calcium intakes. They recommend that adults should take between 1000 to 1200 milligrams daily. A single glass of semi-skimmed milk provides protein, phosphorus, potassium, iodine, and riboflavin and pantothenic acid, and 72% of our daily needs for vitamin B12. The main dietary source of B12 for vegetarians is dairy. The nutrients in milk and dairy help to keep our muscles, bones, nerves, teeth, skin, and vision healthy. Also maintain healthy blood pressure and support normal growth and brain development, and even support normal immune function. And it's very impressive for a glass of milk.
Yeah, this is really interesting topic. The diet is separated into red and white based on the specific climate of the year. Such change in diet has also helped to maintain health for livelihood in such dynamic climate conditions. A human body cleanses itself from excess fat and cholesterol accumulated during winter times and becomes more mobility-wise and lighter. Arts or curd is one of the most widely consumed traditional dairy that serves as main ingredient for various dishes. Arrow is made of curds, sugar, and wild berries. Can be mixed with curds and cut into different shapes and patterns for fancy look. The milk arrow is made of curds and is boiled with fresh milk and then sliced and dried so that it can be kept for a long time.
Of course, the next food is Mongolian borscht. Borscht is a dried meat that can be stored for any length of time and is unique food of the Mongolian nation that has been handed down for centuries. It does not rot, does not lose quality, and contains nutrients. Borscht have the advantage of being able to be eaten all year round. Due to its light weight, it is suitable for long journeys and for astronauts. The dough can be ground and stored in cloth bags, buckets, or any container. It's abundant because it is made in small amounts of food. The ground borscht is soaked in warm water and cooked with soup.
Borscht is a dried meat that can be stored for any length of time and is a unique food of our Mongolian nation that has been handed down for centuries. It does not rot, it does not lose its quality and contains nutrients. Borscht have an advantage of being able to be eaten all year round. Because of its light weight, it's suitable for long journeys. The dough can be ground and stored in cloth bags, buckets, or any container. It's abundant because it's made in small amounts in food. The ground borscht is soaked in warm water and cooked with soup. Let's back to today's topic about popular job types in Mongolia, before and after. Before industrialization took place in Mongolia, we used to live in our countryside and do home factory, such as dairy products, feed livestock, and create textile and sell or barter them to others. So it means most popular job was herdsman. Then around 1950s, big factories built by Russian in Mongolia and became able to study in Western countries like Germany, Poland, and Russia. Back then, popular job was related to factories, mining, and language, such as interpreter. And now, Mongolia is known as developing country, so there are many types of jobs in various fields like most of the other country in the world.
By the way, around 1950s, some of the herdsmen started to study in the higher education and became able to work in the factories. Those who went to school were directly paid by the state to work in state-owned enterprises. And I changed the lifestyle and started working as a tractor, combine harvester, and other agricultural workers in the foundation farms established in the central provinces, and I started moving to Ulaanbaatar from all over the Mongolia.
Oh, that's so interesting. As a matter of fact, during that time, my grandma used to work as a tailor. I heard she had a higher education and started to work as a tailor. Also, my grandpa used to work as a songwriter and also as a teacher. He was one of the smartest people I know. He also had a higher education, and soon after that, my grandma and grandpa moved to Ulaanbaatar. By the way, in the second half of the 1980s, as a result of transformation of the Soviet Union, a movement for social democratization began in the People's Republic of Mongolia. The real movement and implements of the democratic atmosphere in Mongolian society were the youth. After that, in 1992, with the reform of the political system, the adoption of a democratic constitution that respects human rights and freedoms, and the transition to the market economy. The democratic revolution was victorious and Mongolia transitioned to democracy and a market economy. During this transition, there was a demand for professions that played key role in teaching medicine, engineering, and construction.
As the result for Mongolians, the 20th century was period of revolution, 1911-1921, as well as years of economic and social reform and achievement, gradually implement multilateral measures aimed at squeezing foreign capital out of the country's economy and ensuring its independence. The number of livestock has increased as a result of the promotion of interest in breeding within the framework of the goal of building socialism in Tita in Mongolia, a conflicting process of cooperating with private enterprises has had positive and negative consequences for society.
To sum up, what my teammates said during this video is the situation before and after the political reform is very different. One of the many things that changed after the political system reform was education and career. Especially some professions such as teachers, doctors, engineers are playing key role in society these days.
So, there are lots of ancient artifacts have been found in Mongolian territory. Before reform, we used to work with European archaeologists more often, such as Russian, Germany and France, etc. But after reform, Mongolian politicians started to look for more benefits from an action. That's why archaeologists rarely come to Mongolia. But now we became a more democratic country than before. If we're looking for a bigger picture, as an archaeologist, Mongolia is a heaven because we have many ancient artifacts and something not exposed for now, but we already discovered many of them. For my experience, I saw their stone in Govalta province, which was my first seen artifacts. So, today we want to talk about their stone. What do you know about Mongolian deer stone?
It's so interesting that you ask because last semester I had attended for Mongolian ancient history class and studied about those topics, which is Mongolian deer stones. It was amazing and super interesting. I really loved all those deer stones discoveries in Mongolia. These stones are ancient megaliths covered with symbols found largely in Siberian and Mongolia. It's usually constructed from granite and greenstone, depending on which is the most abundant in the surrounding area. They have varying heights, most are over 3 feet tall, but some reach a height of 15 feet. The tops of the stones can be flat, round or smashed, suggesting that perhaps the original top had been deliberately destroyed. The stones are usually oriented with the decorative face to the east.
It's interesting that you ask. The term deer stone is derived from highly artistic illustrations of deer on stone, and the deer stones are created from a long block of granite with 4 flat sides on which deer and other images are engraved. Deer stones have 3 ornamented anthropomorphic sections: a face, torso, and lower body section. The face part contains human faces, symbol of sun and moon, and earrings, while stylized deer, elk, occasionally horses, and ibexes are engraved in the torso. In the lower body part, there are images of weapons, belts, and horse riders. The main decoration, deer images, are classically depicted in superimposed extraordinary abstract style. However, in many cases, deer image or other animals such as horses, ibexes, and pig images are occasionally depicted rough appearance. Wow, that's so interesting. As my teammates mentioned before, there are many deer stone monuments in Mongolia, but now I'm going to talk details about deer stones at Ushking Obor. The deer stones are located south of the Ushig mountain of Buruntakhtokhsum, Hufskhul province, occupying approximately 400-hectare area. It is fascinating and interesting to see a complex of 30 deer stones and big hirgsurs and slab burials. In terms of statue number, skillful works, and illustration, this complex site is a great representation of this culture. Especially statues with images of human face draw attention of many scientists and considered one of the rarest statues. Isn't it unique?
I'm very happy to discuss this topic. During the 13th century, Mongol warriors under their legendary leader Genghis Khan established a vast Eurasian empire through great wars of conquest. Some 700 years later, their descendants still inhabit the high plains, desert, and mountains that make up the Alaska-sized country that is contemporary Mongolia. While almost million people live in the capital Ulaanbaatar, many other Mongolians choose to maintain the ancient nomadic traditions of their ancestors. For them, home is felt and the most treasured possession is really good horse. From 2002 through 2008, the exuberant desert traveler and photographer Lena Ling made 5 trips to Mongolian Gobi Desert to find and photograph the deer stones, Turkish stones, and the shamanistic stone markers called Avas that are scattered across Mongolian desert vastness. Her photographs and writing about the land and the nomads who live there tell the story of desert world where shamans still converse with spirits and where ancient forms of Buddhism are enjoying resurgence after years of Soviet suppression. Mongolia is truly a land of mystery and magic.
Wow, that's interesting. As my teammates mentioned before, there are many deer stone monuments in Mongolia. But now I'm going to talk details about deer stones at Orshing-Over. The deer stones are located south of the Orshig mountain of Buruntaktosung, Khuvsgul province, occupying approximately 400 hectare area. It is fascinating and interesting to see a complex of 30 deer stones and big kirksurs and slab burials. In terms of statue number, skillful works, and illustrations, this complex site is a great representation of this culture. Especially statues with images of human face draw attentions of many scientists and considered one of the rarest statues. Isn't it unique?
As a result, deer stone origin was a complex process consisting of many components. Deer stones present the weaver with a remarkable menagerie of creatures seen through the eyes of late Bronze Age residents of the Mongolian steppe. Mongolian petroglyphs are believed to be able to recreate the evolving stages of the deer imagery. Examples of rock art sites like Бичгдийн Am in Баяхангор and the Shivet Harkhan in the Mongol Altai have been brightly discussed, but there's plenty of potential, and archaeologists say that Mongolia is very mysterious and very rich country because we have a lot of ancient artifacts that haven't yet been discovered, but we have already discovered many things.